Bom dia. I'm Alan. I'm here with my wife Leslie, son Wolf, dog Greer, and Rex the cat. We're from the United States and now live in Portugal on the beautiful Island of Madeira. Thanks for being here. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Bom dia. It feels as if Portugal came out of nowhere in these last few years. In spite of Portugal's old and rich history, like everyone else, we had never even thought to visit until a few years ago. So why has the country of Portugal become the hot place to visit, and for some to relocate to completely? What makes Portugal so special? Let's talk about it. It'll be fun. Vai ser divertido.
As we age, we finally figure out that we don't have to have it all. Everything doesn't need to be perfect. We just need to allow ourselves to enjoy life, find happiness, and have that freedom that we've always been wanting. Hence the statement, life is short, enjoy it. So, in case you didn't know, we chose Portugal for the same reasons we will discuss today. In our search for the perfect place to lead our next stage in life, there were just so many things that we wanted. Well, we really wanted everything. We wanted it all. We didn't have the money to have it all, but we wanted it all. We had a big problem that put a limit to things. It ended up that Alan was 64, and we did not feel we had enough money saved in order to have a decent quality of life. So short of building a commune, which we still might just do, we had to find a location in the world that would allow us to live cost effectively so we wouldn't run out of money as we aged. We also wanted the place to be beautiful, fantastic, perfect, everything we had dreamed. I'm a horticulturist and I love to be outside. We didn't want the place to be hot, or at least I didn't want the place to be hot, and Alan was completely done shoveling snow. Our search started in the United States, went south, and ultimately across the water to Portugal. So we're here and we love everything new that we're encountering. That's what we want to talk to you about. So maybe our why for loving Portugal will resonate with you.
We're viewer supported. If you enjoy our videos, we invite you to join our Patreon community.
To tackle why Portugal is popular today, we need to look at the country's history. Portugal, officially known as the Portuguese Republic, has a rich and complex history spanning thousands of years. The country's historical legacy has left significant contributions to global exploration and trade. Starting a couple thousand years ago, the Romans came to Portugal and built cities, roads, and bridges. We visited some of those ruins in Lisbon last fall. While visiting Lisbon, we traveled out to Sintra, where you can take a bus ride from hell to go and visit Moorish castles that were built after the Roman times in the 8th century. However, it would come to be eventually that a small Christian kingdom, the country of Portugal, emerged in the northern part of this land, which expanded in the 11th and 12th century. In 1139, Portugal became an independent kingdom.
In a brief intermission, I'd like to remind you that we are taking part in International Living's Overseas Summit on July 10th, 11th, and 12th. To secure your spot in this free summit, sign up in our description below.
Later would come the era of Portugal's most prominent colonization and trade, the 15th and 16th centuries. You know, Vasco da Gama and Fernandes Magellan. Portugal expanded its colonial empire into Africa, Asia, and South America, where they settled this small itty-bitty place called Brazil.
Exactly.
In the 19th and 20th century, the country faced instability and economic decline, losing many of its colonies. Fast forwarding to 1974, Portugal had a peaceful revolution which brought in the democratic government of today and granted independence to the remaining colonies. This brings us today and the 10 reasons why everyone loves Portugal. We will start with
Open and inviting.
We love it here. We love the people, the culture, the hospitality they give us. They're really welcoming.
They are. And it seems to be that from a young age, the Portuguese people or the children are taught the importance of welcoming visitors, showing kindness, and helping people to feel comfortable. People have a very strong sense of community. They're close-knit. They have very strong social networks. They genuinely care for each other and extend that care to strangers as well. I feel that as we meet the people of Portugal and the people here on the island.
They get so much contact with different cultures because of the old seafaring and colonial history, which you can feel everywhere you go.
Right. I think that exposure has given them that sense of openness and curiosity about other cultures, and which is what makes them more receptive to the visitors and the backgrounds. And then, of course, on the island of Madeira and in many places throughout mainland Portugal, they're used to having visitors, people from all over the world.
Yeah.
They have a tradition of sharing here, I feel, in Portugal, that seems to be deeply rooted in the culture.
Certainly.
It's not about abundance. They don't have to have a ton of money.
No. They share all their experiences: food, drinks, festival, family. It's all shared. It's all open. It's invited. You are welcome. They are happy to welcome you into their circle of their friends, of their family. It's nice. They're great with newcomers.
It extends to the simple things that we've spoken to so many times on this channel of just simply going to the cafe. You can go to the cafe that is very popular amongst all the tourists, sit down and obviously talk to the tourists, talk to the people from the island, where you're on the island, or you can stop in a cafe up in the hills that's just a whole bunch of people that have come down for the morning or early morning to meet up and sit down and be the only foreigner there, and everybody welcomes you in. You don't feel odd or like you shouldn't be there. So what else? I like the simple pleasures.
The cafes. It's really interesting coming from the U.S. I wouldn't think it, but it's given me a huge appreciation. Just sitting in a cafe for a couple hours, enjoying a coffee, letting life slow down. Simple pleasures really shine through in Portugal.
Right, taking a walk. Everywhere you go, you find people taking a walk in the evenings with their children. We're on a very mountainous island. Bringing the bicycles down because there's not a lot of flat area for the children to learn to ride the bikes. Stopping and chit-chatting. It's really very, very nice. They seem to embrace joy and happiness that simple pleasures offer. You don't have to spend a lot of money to be content.
No.
In recent years, Portugal has gained a lot of attention as a great destination for tourists and for potential residents. Why do you think that, Wolf?
Outside of the friendly people, because friendly people are nice, but it's not necessarily what attracts people to come and visit. It's really going to be how beautiful the country is. It's the nature, the landscapes, the old cities. It's all gorgeous. Portugal has some of the better beaches in Europe on a whole. Some of them are truly ranked as number 1, number 2 in Europe. And these golden beaches cascading up into mountains and these cities nested in them. It's wonderful. It's absolutely picturesque.
And that they have islands, autonomous regions of Madeira, the autonomous region of the Azores are all Portuguese territories, still are Portuguese part of the Portuguese country today, that you can enjoy, and which gives such diversity to the landscape. The island of Madeira is nothing but mountainous trees. It's very lush. Then you go to Porto Santo, and that's going to be very almost desert feeling.
Well, and you don't even have to go to the islands. Just the mainland is beautiful. It's funny because growing up, I always thought the whole peninsula, I guess, of Portugal and Spain was flat.
Yeah.
That's what I had always thought. But no, it's some of the more mountainous areas in all of Europe.
It is.
And it's beautiful.
So let's the history and the culture. One of the things we touched on earlier was, that we were in Lisbon and we literally went to breakfast one day and we ate our breakfast and walked outside the door and stumbled into Roman ruins that we hadn't weren't on the list for that morning. Right.
They weren't on the list, but
breakfast
there they are,
was on
right
the
in
list.
the middle of a cobblestone road either side of it.
Yeah.
And we were just on our way up to visit another historical site, both of which were older than anything in the U.S.
Right, but they were only like medieval.
And that
or
was only
Moorish.
medieval.
They
That
weren't
was- that wasn't even
2,000
that
years
old.
old, right? Right, and it was.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. I mean, there's history everywhere you go. It's lovely. I mean, even here on the island of Madeira, when you're walking the levadas and realizing how old the levadas are and when they were built, they're hundreds of years old. They were put together long before the United States was discovered or the Americas. And then, get up to the Fanal and you've got the trees that are 800 years old. It's fantastic, the history and culture that's available here in Portugal. One of the things that we have talked about in many of our videos is the high quality of life.
Portugal is wonderful. It ranks among the highest quality of lives in the world for a country, with an excellent healthcare system. Safety, especially on the island of Madeira, puts anything in the U.S. to shame.
Yeah.
Just not even comparable.
Right. It does. I mean, I think that what was one of the things when we came here with regards to safety, we never thought about it. We're, from the United States, and we're all raised with guns being around us all the time. But you don't worry about it. I mean, it's just there. It's there. You don't get stressed over it. You don't go to a bad area where it might be an issue. You just automatically, live your life and you don't think about it. When we came here, people approached us with regards to guns and safety and, how do you live in a world that's so dangerous? And their concept of what our lives were in the United States. But we never thought about it. And now that you're here, you do think about it. You think, wow, it's very lovely to live in a world that you do not have to worry about walking down the street at 1 a.m. or coming around a corner and running into, just finding yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or knocking on the wrong door and somebody answering that door with a gun. These things just don't happen. Overall, Portugal has a relatively low cost of living, especially out of all of the European countries in many areas of the United States. Can you find a lower cost of living in the world? Absolutely, you can. However, we honestly believe that the high quality of life and the quality of life that we're able to build on a middle class income or a middle class savings is lovely. We could not have achieved that in where we were in the United States. So one of the other things that people love about Portugal is the food and the wine. The food is simple. I love the food. It's simple, a lot of seafood, a lot of potatoes. Everybody seems to grow their own food here, or many of the people grow their own food. And then, of course, the winemaking traditions. And, in Portugal, everywhere you go, wine is so cost-effective and wonderful. It's absolutely lovely. Portuguese wine is the only wine that's sold here.
Yeah.
And, it's, do you want a Douro wine? Do you want an Alentejo wine? Do you want a Madeiran wine? Do you want to try port wine?
Well, and the other funny thing
Lovely.
is they have mimics, I guess, of wine from other regions, but it's all good. It's made with their own
Fantastic.
wine, but it's good. It's correct
Uh-huh.
in spite of that.
So one of the things that we do on our channel is the perfect example of an entrepreneurial opportunity. The country has worked very hard to produce great conditions for startups. They provide government support. And then there's this huge growing network. Yeah.
Of co-working spaces and innovation hubs for people who are looking to work
In the tech industry.
in the tech industry online.
Uh-huh.
It's very modern. It's very well kept because the government wanted to work towards that. Combining all of what Portugal has to offer, it really is a wonder how the country has taken this long to get this popular. With the top-notch accessibility, safety, the ease of travel across the whole Schengen zone, it's such a wonderful place for those who are looking for a good quality of life, for the culture, the beauty. It's just wonderful, warm, welcoming. Whether you're looking for your next stop on a world tour or for the final stop to settle down, Portugal really might just be the place for you. Life is a gift you give yourself. Enjoy it.
Please give us your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what we can help you with. For example, planning your journey from the scouting trip through getting settled in Madeira. Join us on Patreon, where we will help you with a NIF, connect you with our trusted real estate agent, immigration team, tax attorney, etc. The description of our videos holds links to our Patreon, planning a one-to-one call, and affiliates. We hope you continue to come along with us on our new adventure. Life is short. We should have done this sooner. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help us grow. The next stage in your life is a journey. Até próxima.